Yesterday, I interviewed the CEO of Moms for Liberty. She told me about how she was just a regular mom in the parent-teacher organization. She started this organization because she was concerned about the things she'd been seeing in these schools. And she got many moms to join her mom organization. The FBI then began the intimidating phone calls. Scott Pelley on 60 Minutes claimed that doesn't happen. The FBI doesn't call you, which is absurd because they do. I was in D.C. in 2017 when Donald Trump was getting inaugurated. The FBI called my phone. I ignored it. Then they sent me an email saying they wanted to talk about what I had witnessed. Yeah, these things happen. Now, these moms aren't doing anything. It's completely legal speech they're organizing. And sure enough, the feds were intimidating them, asking them how their mental health was. Did they own weapons? The implication, of course, is that they would take your children from you. Now we have this story. We knew it to a certain degree, but this is where it gets insane. My friends, there is a conspiracy in the government targeting a variety of conservative values, or more importantly, anyone who opposed the liberal orthodoxy. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy fact. And I thought about this, and you know, the media can lie and they can say, oh, you're crazy. We know it's true. It's formally reported that they were doing this. I mean, aside from hunting down the J6ers, some of whom were peaceful, had no idea what was going on, kicking their doors in at 3 a.m. at gunpoint. We know about parents going to parent-teacher meetings being called terrorists. Now this, the New York Post, extent of FBI's targeting of radical traditionalist Catholics greater than Biden officials claimed, GOP senator reveals. Documents released by Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa on Tuesday appear to contradict former FBI Director Christopher Wray's claim that a controversial 2023 memo targeting radical traditionalist Catholics was a one-off in the work of a single bureau field office. Extent of the FBI's targeting of radical traditionalist Catholics greater than Biden officials claimed, GOP senator reveals. The Biden-era FBI chief told House lawmakers in July of 23, that's a weird subhead they put right in the middle there, that the memo, which described the purported overlaps between Catholics who oppose abortion rights and would-be terrorists, as an opportunity for threat mitigation and source development, was a single product by a single field office. However, the new FBI files obtained by Grassley, thanks to Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, show the Bureau produced at least 13 additional documents and 5 attachments that used anti-Catholic terminology, as well as a second memo updating the FBI's Richmond field office's case against radical Catholics. Now, as much as we are concerned, I did have to pause and think about this. I, too, have had my suspicions and fears about these radical traditionalist Catholics. Look at this guy. Look at him. Those eyes. Plotting. Proselytizing. Praising. I'm just kidding. Shout out Seamus. Radical Catholics. Director Wray's testimony was inaccurate, not only because it failed to reveal the scope of the memo's production and dissemination, but also because it failed to reveal the existence of a second draft product on the same topic intended for external distribution to the whole FBI, Grassley wrote in a letter to current FBI Director Kash Patel on Monday, demanding more documents. I love how they're like, we demand more documents, and Kash is like, oh no, here you go. The second FBI memo released by Grassley was also drafted by the FBI's Richmond office and repeated the unfounded link between traditional Catholicism and violent extremism. The backlash over the whistleblower disclosure of the initial memo led the Richmond office to never release the second version, according to the Iowa Republican. However, the first anti-Catholic Richmond memo was widely distributed in February of 2023 to more than 1,000 FBI employees nationwide, according to Grassley's findings. This raises serious concerns that FBI field offices may have relied on the Richmond memo and placed groups in their areas of responsibility under suspicion based on reporting from the deeply biased sources in the memo, the senator informed Patel. I'm going to say it again. There is a criminal conspiracy operating in our law enforcement. I don't think you need me to say it. This is just more evidence. Bravo. Shout outs. I told you guys, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are doing great work. You're not going to get everything you hope for, everything you wish for, but this is massive. And if Trump didn't win and if he didn't put Kash Patel in charge, we wouldn't be getting this stuff. Kash Patel, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. The FBI has always seemed like some foreign monster machine. And now I'm sitting back being like, Kash is getting it done. And there are people that are mad over the Epstein things. And I'm like, no, I get it. But let the men cook. It's only been a couple months. Like I said, Dan Bongino's not going to throw away the biggest live show in the country to do nothing and fail at his job. This is tremendous. Exposing the criminal corruption. It is happening. Bannon, I was told, Bannon was apparently saying midsummer, you're going to see some arrests. Maybe, hopefully. Check this out. They say the first anti-Catholic Richmond memo was widely distributed in February of 23 to more than 1,000 FBI employees. This raises serious concerns that FBI field offices may have relied on the Richmond memo. Additionally, the new documents revealed the Richmond FBI officials working with the Bureau's field offices in Louisville, Portland, and Milwaukee as they drafted the memo, further belying Ray's testimony. So he lied under oath? Is that what he did? Grassley and the numerous conservatives and Catholics have criticized the FBI for largely relying on the far-left Southern Poverty Law Center's hate group classifications when putting together the memo. I continue to investigate the Richmond memo and the culture at the FBI that allowed it to be produced and approved, the senator informed Patel. This is scary stuff. This country, it's supposed to be a freedom of religion, right? You're supposed to be allowed to believe what you want to believe, even if you're a nut job. The Democrats scream, First Amendment, free speech, blah, blah, blah. They don't practice it. Behind the scenes, this is what you get when you vote for the Democratic Party. So I'm done playing this game. You know, I was saying last week we had that liberal on the show, and she's saying, like, I'm going to stand for the liberals, and she's Canadian, so she didn't vote, but she was like, I would have aligned with Biden. And certainly through her voice, she does defend and support the Democratic Party. And this is what they do. They are psychopathic monsters. I don't care if you're a Buddhist, Muslim, Jew, Christian, Confucius, or whatever it is, Hindu. I literally don't care. I don't want you to be violent. I don't want you to shut down people's rights or whatever, you know. But I don't care if you want to believe these things. Just don't be a violent person, right? If you live in this country and you're Catholic and you're going to church, I don't care. I actually like a lot of the Christian moral values and teachings. And so largely I'm just like, sure. There's church, you know, churches all over the place. The FBI is going after them. It's fascinating. Now, look, liberals want to play this game of vote for us, Trump's a fascist. And what were we getting under the Biden administration and under Trump's corrupt DOJ? When he had Comey and Wray, that's his fault. Trump didn't realize the extent to the depravity. But what is fascinating is this criminal conspiracy had been bubbling up for some time. They didn't think Trump was going to win. They thought they were going to take it and they'd be able to cover up everything they did. Thus the panic. There's really great video. Trump, of course, as many of you know, he's investigating the pardons from Joe Biden. Fox News took all of the pardons and all the signatures and then overlaid them. And they're identical, except for one, Hunter Biden. That was interesting. They were saying on Fox that, this is Ducey, that the Hunter Biden one was a little messy. Sounds like Joe did pardon Hunter. Makes sense. Hunter actually was facing criminal charges and sentencing, so Joe probably said, I'm going to pardon my son. But these other ones that are identical signatures, this looks like AutoPen. This looks like someone else loaded up a machine and forged Joe Biden's signatures. The extent of the corruption is actually rather terrifying. But I'll tell you, my friends, if you're a mom, if you're a parent, if you're a Catholic, if you're conservative in any way, they were calling you extremists. They were calling you dangerous. They were calling you terrorists because it was their intention to stage some type of communist Chinese Communist Party style takeover. They wanted to run this country the way the CCP runs China. With an iron fist, you pledge your loyalty to the machine, but we stopped them. It's not over. I was interviewing Seb Gorka, And he was saying that the deep state is still very powerful, and he's not wrong. The things that we are seeing every day, Kash Patel is getting the job done, so is Dan, but there is still a battle ahead of us. It's scary, my friends. Trump's got to win in 2026. The Republicans got to win the midterms. And then Trump's successor, whoever it is, has to win in 2028. Because if the Republicans don't hold the system through 2030, the Democrats will open the border, flood this country, manipulate the congressional seat count and the electoral college count, and make it so they never lose again. Well, good job to the FBI and Grassley. Smash that like button, share the show with everyone you know. We got more segments coming up for you. Stay tuned, and we'll see you all in the next bit.